What up, folks? Jiu-jitsu here. Let's tap in. So, some changes. It looks like probably I'm in the basement of one of the Imperial cruisers. Did some changes to the training room, the gym. Hope you like it. Put some lights in, blah, 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 change the atmosphere. More stuff to come. But most importantly, more content. Some of you have noticed I'm posting some tutorials now. I'm in no way an expert, but I'm learning, and the basics are the basics. So I want to try to inspire some folks who have just started, like white belts, beginners, etc. And, also my peers, exchange some ideas and put some information out there and get a feel for it. I do have some experience coaching. Prior to Jiu-Jitsu time, I'd been teaching for a long time. I've tutored in technology and things like that. I've tutored and taught Aikido for 20-something years, and in Jiu-Jitsu time, I started coaching pretty early on in my training career, and I currently still coach teens and kids and run a separate program that's partnered with my gym. I'll talk more about that in the future. So I do have some teaching experience. Yes, I'm learning. I'm not a professional. I'm not a black belt. I'm at the purple belt novice level, so to speak, but I'm sharing some knowledge under the direction of my instructors, so I have their permission to do so. The whole point of doing this YouTube channel and getting information out there is channels like this inspired me when I started. 2019, 2018, before I actually got on the mat and said, all right, let me do this, I was watching a lot of stuff. Big shout out to Eli Knight. We had him on the podcast. He was one of the coaches I saw first. I'll put a link in the description to this video. Basics, 5 techniques you should know, 5 submissions you should know in Jiu-Jitsu. I still refer to that. I feel like the basics, you can never get enough of them. You can never get enough of fundamentals, and we get lost, and I'm a victim of this too, get lost in the fancy stuff because we want to do the next super cross, triple flip, ankle chop, when I probably need to work on passing guard. Leg attacks are great. I'm trying to become more proficient at them. But there are situations where I might get stuck, right? If I can't pass guard, how am I going to stop leg attacks? And there's a lot of open guard players that work on leg attacks. It's pretty much a lot of the game I've seen. I'm trying to expand my game, trying to improve, and trying to really just enjoy this thing. So grateful to have exposure to martial arts and just like an explorative mindset. Having the ability to just get out there and do things, great motivation for my coaches, my peers, and coaches from other gyms who I see, and big shout out to everyone, and thanks for all your support, especially me being annoying on the mat and open mat. I'll be back soon. Just really taking time to try to really go inward. Taking a chapter from my dad's philosophy in terms of, he applies this to everything, especially martial arts back in the day. He doesn't train anymore, but the idea of enjoying the journey, exploring, but also trying to look back and seeing how far we come. I've plateaued. I feel like sometimes in training that, maybe I'm not progressing when I probably am. Everyone's getting better. It's really hard to show up and not get better. You're improving whether you like it or not, whether you see it or not. So one of the big things and big takeaways, and I talked about this with Coach Eli Knight, really just trying to find the fun and the joy in the training, right? Because that's really what it's about. I'm in no way a professional. I'd like to be. There's room for that, hopefully. I'm getting up there. I'm 40 this year, so we'll see. The bones are still working for me. But trying to find the joy in training and continue to spread it. Continue to explore. There's really not a lot of expectations. And I wanted to talk about that in terms of my understanding for, newer people who are coming into Jiu-Jitsu, whether you were in your first few weeks or first few months, you're barely at blue belt, or maybe you got to blue belt, me being a few, inches ahead on the ruler. I can just say have fun. It's going to be challenging. My advice to you is make friends, enjoy it. Make it a game. Enjoy being tapped. Enjoy not having any responsibility. You're going to take yourself too seriously, but try not to. Really just enjoy your journey, like my dad says. Advice I look back to now at purple belt, just about a year in, looking back down the mountain, because now I'm like, oh man, I'm purple belt. Oh man, I need to do this, I need to do that. But I really need to just relax and enjoy the fact that I'm training. I'm healthy. I'm able to get on the mats and do the things. So why not? I have this beautiful thing and access to a wonderful gym and gyms where I can gym hop, and it's good personalities and good environments to practice in. So what else could I ask for? Be honest about where you want to go in your training and talk to your coaches. You may not know at the beginning. If you have the ambition to be an instructor, which you're probably being groomed for that anyway, whether you like it or not, or maybe you're not, but you're getting exposure, talk to your coaches. One thing I did, and your gym may be different, but it's worth asking. One thing I did early on when I transitioned to the new gym after the COVID thing, early on in my training, I asked what they were looking for and when it would be appropriate for me to kind of like shadow or assist with helping with the kids class. In the teens, I had exposure doing that. I ran programs in Aikido for some time, and I was thinking, hey, I might as well ask now, even though I'm probably not prepared for that. It's good to, just see what they say. What are they looking for? And what I heard was like, hey, once you hit blue belt, once you're around that time, we'll see. Come back and talk to us, and yeah, we'll keep it in mind. So blue belt happened. I guess a couple months or however long went by. I got blue belt over the summer, and then I think in the fall or whatever, I started asking, or I asked again, and then it happened. Special situation, maybe, but my instructor said, hey, you can start helping out. It was an awesome experience. I learned so much from it. Other things you can do. Spending time like really focusing on your troubled positions. When you're starting out in jiu-jitsu, you're going to suck at everything. I still suck at everything. There's some things I remember that I can pull off, but I'm no way an expert, right? This is a life pursuit. So another thing you can do starting out is really trying to pay attention to where you're getting stuck. Ask your coaches, ask your peers, hey, I'm stuck in side mount, can you help me? I have trouble passing from, knee on belly to mount. Or when I do knee cuts, my foot gets caught, et cetera, et cetera. Like, bring these notes to the table. I'm a strong, believer of like taking notes or having like a journal. That may be too much for some people. So if you don't run to write like a full-fledged how I was feeling and, a big description of things, or, you don't want to write several pages about your accounts in class, I think the recall aspects are good. So what I do, and I talked about this in one of my other videos, I'll put the link in the description, bullet points people, a sentence or two saying, hey, here's how I felt, here's bullet points on what we did, best I can describe it, submissions that worked, or techniques or things that worked. It could have been a guard pass or something, and then things I had trouble with. So my notes are broken down with, submissions landed, techniques of the day, milestones. If there's something I was struggling with that I was able to accomplish, I'll put in the milestone. In no way am I writing who something happened with, and I'm not keeping track of how many submissions. I'm just keeping track of techniques that I've been working on that I was able to apply successfully when rolling. Another thing, rolling, the anxiety part. Again, I talked about this in another video. You will get over it. Train with people that are awesome. Train with people that you're comfortable with. Make friends. Don't make it a battle to the death. Keep in mind that when you start jiu-jitsu, probably, I can't say when, I'm not at the black belt level, but, I see black belts tapping each other. So, they get tapped too. But don't try to think of yourself as becoming this invincible creature that no one can get their hands on. It's not possible. Like, everyone gets tapped at some point. Probably in the upper echelon, there's ways where that doesn't happen, or in competitions, obviously, the best of the best, you don't see them losing. But I'm pretty sure, or I can guess, don't get me wrong, there has to be time when they're in their gyms where they're training where they have to go through the gauntlet and they might get tapped. When you're trying something new, you're not going to be very comfortable with it. So it's natural to be kind of bad at something. So be comfortable with being bad at it, knowing that every time you step on the mat, you're improving. Every roll is going to help you improve. And every time you're in the gym and you're interacting with people, you're extending that part of your tribe, your friends, your crew, that group. And your contributions to the gym by showing up and just being the best person you can be is going to be a benefit to your gym. So you're already adding to the cause and the culture of jiu-jitsu itself. Another thing, competition. I believe in it. I think it's great. I think, like I said, my purple belt level of expertise or lack of expertise, purple belt tier, I recommend you at least do it once, whether it's a local competition or something. You're gonna be afraid, you're gonna be nervous. I think it's important to experience the pressure, experience the intensity and the intent of someone who's actually, in that situation with you. And if you haven't had experience like being on display or doing a demonstration or something like that, that'll be good for you. I fortunately in Aikido land have done so many demonstrations for like, tests and things for the Cherry Blossom Festival, and done things in like a strip mall. Like I've done a lot and traveled and spent a lot of time growing up because I started in high school. So I had a lot of exposure to that in school, public speaking, things for work and whatnot, where I had to like get in front of someone and explain and demonstrate. So I had a lot of time doing that, teaching summer camps and the Aikido program too and whatnot, and pitching to some of the folks who we had to get bids for to kind of explain my expertise. So try to compete at least once, and you may fall in love with it, you may not, but at least you'll have the experience and you'll say, you know what, I did it, I got it. And the last thing, keep it fun. I said this already, but I'll make it the last thing. Keep it fun. Enjoy this wonderful experience you have. There's great culture, there's great people out there like yourself, and let me know in the comments what you're thinking. If this video was helpful, I'm still going to be doing some tutorials on the fundamentals. I have a lot to learn, but I want to share my progress with you all. So let me know what you want to see next. And as usual, like and subscribe and tap in.